Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and today we are talking about Phil Town. And Phil Town just released a video talking about how to find these needles in a haystack, these companies that we want to compound 10 years, 15 years, whatever, down the road. And finding these companies, finding these ideas are super important now. We know it's super hard to find these ideas. So, Phil Town kind of gives you in this video an idea of what he does, his research process into finding these ideas. And I think it's very helpful, guys. So, as you can see in this picture, Phil Town is in the books reading company to company. This is probably like value line. So, I'm not sure, like, we use the internet now. Phil Town's old school. He's gonna do it with his book, right? His binder of stocks. We could do the same thing, go from company to company, but I think it's more efficient by using screeners, getting ideas from other people, from YouTube, from Twitter, from, I don't know, anywhere you can find these ideas, from Yahoo, what other people are buying. But yeah, even if Phil is doing this, we can do the same process, and he shows you what he screens for when he's looking at stocks one by one. So in this video, he goes through kind of what his first criteria is. So I'm gonna bring this video up. So let's go to the first thing. His first thing is, we all know this. Do we understand the company? Can we wrap our head around what the company does, what the company is doing? And that's very key because there's so many companies that we don't understand. Guys, we just gotta throw it to the side. We don't want to spend time on these companies that we don't understand, because when we invest in them and then something happens in the company and we don't know what happens, we're just going to be scared, and we're just not going to be comfortable holding that investment, like sleeping at night. When you don't understand the company, your money's in that your hard-earned money is in that company, and you don't know or understand the problem that it's going through. So, guys, make sure you're buying companies that you understand. Like, Phil Town always gives this example, like Chipotle. We understand Chipotle, Mexican burritos. They had that problem with E. coli, right? So, we can understand that's a short-term problem, and we're able to get in at a cheaper price. And even if you got into Chipotle at a higher price, you could have stood still into that company, because you know that company is going to bounce back after the E. coli scare. There's no way that can just last forever and just going to cripple the company, right? So you're able to sleep at night because you understand the problem, right? So that's what we're looking for. Second thing, we're looking for predictability in the revenue. So what comes with predictability? That means we can actually kind of predict the future of the business, not 100%, but with more accuracy, guys. And that's what we want. We want to buy companies that we can predict in the future, because that's what investing is all about. It's about predicting what can happen in the future, and if that's going to bring profit to us, or our hard-earned money back to us. So the first thing is we look is the predictability of the revenue. If the predictability of the revenue is not there, then it's going to be so hard for the other numbers to be predictable. So he wants to see at least the revenue increasing by however much percent, maybe 5, 10%, but at least the revenue is increasing year over year. So if that's not, he's going to throw away the company. So first, does he understand the company? If he doesn't, he's going to throw away that company. Has the revenue been predictable? If not, he's going to throw away that company. And then he goes down to his third thing, return on invested capital, guys. So this is a big number. We always want to look at this number. Return on invested capital is very important, because that's the money that we got to think as business owners. And when we think as business owners, the money that we invest in our company, we want to earn money back on that investment, right? So we have to look at it that way. So when we're looking at it that way, we want these companies to have at least 10% and above consistently. And guys, remember, return on invested capital is the equity plus the debt divided by the net income, what the business is earning. So, and then you get the return on invested capital, and we want that 10 to 15, higher the better, 30, whatever, higher the better, but above 10. and we want that pretty consistently, guys. So you look for that. If it's not high, if it's in the Phil Town says if it's in the single digits, he is throwing away the company. He's just move on. We're trying to find these good, strong compounders. So this is his screening process to find these ideas. And when he goes in quickly, guys, he wants to be efficient with this. So he's looking at 1, 2, 3, and then he goes to 4. Debt. How much debt does this company have? Right? We want to be able to use the net earnings of the company or the free cash flow, and should be able to divide that into the how much debt it has, and we should be able to pay that off into like 3 or less years, guys. No more, because if we don't look at the cash on the balance sheet, because that's a little bit deceiving, because sometimes these businesses don't even use the cash that they have on their balance sheet to pay off their debt. They can have negative earnings and all this cash on the balance sheet, and they don't use that cash to pay off their debt, and they go to bankruptcy. They go bankrupt because they don't want to use that cash, and that's what happened to Phil Town in the past. So he doesn't look at that cash anymore. So the debt is over 3. If it's like 5, 6, guys, he just moves on to the next company. So as you can see, like now he's getting into the depths of the thing. Like now he's going deeper, but those are the 4 screens right away that he looks for. And then 5, he finds the owner earnings of the company. He compares the owner earnings of the company compared to or like the free cash flow of the company, and compares it to what the company is priced at like in the market. So you find the owner's earnings, you times it by 10, and then you I think divide it by the share price, and then you get the share price, and then you compare it to what the market is selling the company for. So if that's too high, then next one, valuation, next one. But if he likes that company, he puts it on the back burner and makes sure it's there. So it's on his watch list now. If he went through all the other screens, he puts it back on his watch list to make sure, because all the other screens, he likes the company. If it didn't make the valuation, a quick valuation mark, he puts it on the back burner, and he has it on the side. So that's what he does. Moat. Does the company have a moat? Remember, we want our companies to be durable. That is the most important thing, because we are looking into the future. If the company is not durable, the moat makes the company durable, and it's very key. The durability of the company is very key, because if it's not, you're gonna lose. Competition is heavy, and you're just gonna lose market share. If you don't have a moat, a competitive advantage that differentiates you through other people, you're just gonna lose so much market share, because competition is gonna come in and take that share. So make sure your company has a moat. Does it dominate the industry? That's a quick one. But now we're going into the weeds of things. But all the other things are super important. And then he says intrinsic risk. Is a company from China going to take over your company? Is one of your company's products becoming obsolete in the market? There's new technology that's going to take it over. Again, it's going back to the future. Is your product going to be able to sustain itself throughout any type of market? Because remember, guys, there's going to be always that next product coming down that line. Is the next product coming down that line going to take over your product, so your products become obsolete and there's going to be no use for it in the future? And then lastly, management. So we want a company with good management. When I think about management, look at their past of what they said in their 10Ks, and have they met their goals? Do they not talk about all the mistakes they make? Do they just shove it on the sideline? How much insider ownership do these companies have? Guys, so management is very key, because sometimes management can do a lot of dirty stuff, and Phil talks about this. One of his companies went to zero, claimed bankruptcy. I think it was Horsehead Holdings. So management was saying one thing, but they're doing something completely opposite. So management is very key. Do they have a good insider ownership in this company? Even though some companies don't have high insider ownership and they're still great companies, but you just gotta make sure what they're saying is actually what they're doing. What they're actually doing with the company. Compare what the management is saying and what the company is actually doing. And we can even go back in history, look at their previous 10Ks, and see if it matches up to what they're doing. 'Cause that means that means management has integrity and they're actually being honest. And remember, guys, again, the company has to meet your values. So we want honest integrity. We want all that stuff in our management and our CEOs. Do a background check on your CEOs. So those are like I think that was 9 things that Phil Town quickly screens when he wants to look at these companies. So that's a lot. I love Phil Town. Phil Town provides a lot of knowledge. He knows a lot. He's the one who actually got me head on into investing. It's only been like 2 strong years of very focused investment, just like Phil Town. So guys, if you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace out.